to 15.7 trillion naira at the end of December 2019.
Senior Democrats have responded by accusing him of committing a gross offense.
The All Progressives Congress has vowed to punish the Ogun State Governor, Ibikule Amosu.
Welcome to Celebration Television News Desk. I'm Nicholas Akosile. What are here the news? Making the headlines. Poverty odor is worse than body odor. Apostle Johnson Suleiman. Gunfire erupts in Somalia as fears mount over civil war. Dominic Cummings' allegation. Top civil servant to face Member of Parliament. Coca-Cola recycles 1.5 billion bottles to protect environment. Man City beats Tottenham to retain League Cup. Please stay with us as we'll bring you details of that news after this very short break. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, and now news in details. Poverty odor is worse than body odor, says Apostle Johnson Suleiman. Sunday's service with Apostle Johnson Suleiman has the potency to produce mind-blowing testimonies as the apostle continued with a series, Battle for Rest. This time he mentioned poverty as a salient point to mankind if rest is to be considered. The service, which was aimed at boosting believers' mindset over poverty, has renewed their thoughts, thereby discarding the motion of allowing poverty to rule over their lives. Considering poverty as one of the battles to be fought to attain rest in life completely, the apostle resorted to admonishing believers on the essence of prosperity in Christianity. He says poverty odor is worse than body odor.
A battle you must conquer if you must enjoy rest. Poverty. You must crush poverty. Poverty is antagonistic of rest. To enjoy rest, you must crush the head of poverty. Sir, poverty is a stigma. Poverty odor is worse than body odor. Poverty odor is worse than body odor. There is no wisdom in being poor. No, the only lesson poverty teaches you is humiliation. The only lesson poverty teaches you is disrespect. I'm not preaching greed or preaching covetousness. The love of money is the root of evil. The lack of money is the root of sea finish. Am I talking to somebody here? Is the root of sea finish, is the root of disrespect. It is the choices you made yesterday that brought the poverty of today. He said the rich and the poor, the Lord made them all. He didn't say the Lord made them so. God made the poor man as a man, but he didn't make him poor. It's your decisions or your mistakes or your errors that fired your poverty. If you don't have money, nobody will respect you.
He also added that deliberate effort should be put in eradicating poverty, and that God never made men poor, but by their own choices, decisions, and mistakes, they settle for poverty. And Christianity is a journey propelled by wealth. He enjoined believers to change the narrative from poverty to prosperity, as it is important to be blessed and be a blessing to another. Finally, the service was brought to a close after the prophetic and miraculous manifestations of God.
This is a miracle this morning. While we are ministering to the sick there, a child, this woman came from Afowa. He said the child has been in coma for 2 weeks.
Son enfant était dans
In
le
coma.
For 2 weeks, sir.
Le coma pendant 2 semaines.
In coma for 2 weeks. Look at the child. To somebody there, the power of God came upon the child,
Puissance de Dieu l'a touché.
and she's back to life.
Et
Restore
elle est
her.
revenue à la vie.
Are you just looking like that? This is how you can clap. This is how you can clap. This is how you can clap.
And moving forward quickly, 319,755 benefited from federal government payroll support scheme, says presidential aid. The federal government has so far supported 319,755 Nigerians under the Economic Sustainability Plan Survival Fund payroll supports. The next batch of beneficiaries under the scheme and the one-off general MSME grant of 50,000 naira expected to be paid this week. The senior special assistant to the vice president on media and publicity, Laulu Akonde, disclosed this in a statement. The ESP, approved by the Federal Executive Council in June 24, 2020, was developed by the Economic Sustainability Committee chaired by Vice President Yemi Osibanjo to respond to the challenges posed by the COVID-19 pandemic. According to Akonde, the scheme is estimated to save not less than 1.3 million jobs across the country and specifically impact on over 35,000 individuals per state. The general MSME grant is a one-off grant of 50,000 naira that will be given to each qualified MSME as direct cash injection into their enterprise. Akonde said the total number of beneficiaries in this track was 100,000 spread across the state. Quickly, in another development, NAMA trains and certifies 24 new air traffic controllers. The Nigerian Airspace Management Agency has obtained licenses for 24 newly recruited air traffic control officers from the Nigerian Civil Aviation Organization after undergoing the necessary training and examination on aerodrome and approach control. The agency also recertified 30 air traffic controllers in different categories of air traffic control, including terminal approach, radar, area procura control, and area surveillance control after passing the required proficiency and rating tests, and after certified mentally fit and later with Annex 1 of the International Civil Aviation Organization and Part 2 of the Nigerian Civil Aviation Regulation. Managing Director of NAMA, Captain Fola Akinkwotu, recalled that from year 2020 to date, the agency recertified a total of 194 air traffic controllers, in addition to the periodic training and retraining targeted at keeping them up to speed with latest skills and technology in another traffic management to ensure they remain competitive with their peers globally. The NAMA boss also revealed that in order to reduce delays and congestion in the nation's airspace, the agency has commenced the construction of aerodrome and approach control simulator at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos, as a pilot project to be replicated in Abuja, Kano, and Port Harcourt. And quickly, coming from around Africa, gunfire erupts in Somalia as fears mount over civil war. Gunfire erupts in Somalia's capital between soldiers loyal to the government and others angry at the country's leader as tensions spike over President Mohamed Abdullahi Mohamed's extended stay in power. There is no reports of casualty, but the gunfire heard across much of the city highlighted earlier warnings that the election standoff could increase instability in the Horn of Africa nation. The estimated hundreds of Maltese soldiers still in uniform took up key positions in northern Mogadishu as some residents hid. There has not been any immediate comment from the government. The Horn of Africa country faces growing instability after the lower house of parliament approved a 2-year extension of the president's mandate and that of the federal government, sparking the fury of Senate leaders and vocal criticism of the international community. The African Union was the latest to condemn the actions. Hundreds of protesters took to the streets of Mogadishu, chanting that they don't want a dictatorship. They also stamped on and set fire to images of President Mohammed. And still coming from around Africa, Europe pledges support to Mali amid transition to an elected government. As relations strengthen between Europe and the Sahel, the EU's foreign policy chief held talks with Mali's top leaders in Bamako. Joseph Borrell Frontiers pledged European Union support as Mali undergoes a transition to an elected government following last year's military coup. Young military officers ousted President Ibrahim Boubacar Keïta on August 18 after months of protest driven by his failure to solve Mali's long-running jihadist conflict and perceived corruption. The new European Union strategy for the Sahel affirms the importance of a solid and long-term partnership in the region through legislation and strategies. The main geographical scope of the European Union strategy is the five G5 Sahel countries: Burkina Faso, Chad, Mali, Mauritania, and Niger. However, it places European Union action in a wide context of regional and cross-border challenges and of the links that exist in particular between the Sahel, West African coastal states, the Lake Chad Basin, and North Africa. Since 2012, Mali had been struggling to contain a jihadist rebellion that erupted in the northern part of the country and has spread with attacks to some cities in the central parts. Thousands of civilians and military prisoners have been killed in the conflict. The region has also been threatened by climate change, demographic pressure, access to natural resources, and epidemic risk. Presidential and legislative elections are due to take place in Mali in February 2022. So we'll go on a very short break. When we'll come back, we'll bring you updates from the United Kingdom. Please don't go anywhere. Stay with us.
Apostle Johnson Suleiman storms Ibadan.
Do you live in Ogun State? Do you live in Ondo State? Do you live in Osun? Do you live in Lagos? Be my guest as I come to Oyo State, Ibadan.
Make a move that will propel your generation.
You've carried so much load, but God says He has come to help you. Who is Victor? The first son. Miracle jobs will begin to locate your children. There's going to be a mighty move of the Holy Spirit. I'm coming with my wife.
Who is this woman walking?
There is a miracle here.
Tell me.
For 18 years, this
This woman could not walk except with the aid.
She could not walk without the crutches.
Not walk without a crutch.
Come, let her walk now.
Yes.
Walk now. Walk now. So many miracles happening here. Look at another crutches again inside the crowd.
It's a time of refreshing and revamping.
Join me for Impact 2021 Ibadan, Oyo State.
Generational Impact Ibadan 2021. Date 27th and 28th April 2021 by 7 a.m. and 3 p.m. daily GMT+1. Venue Indo Sport Hall, Liberty Stadium, Ibadan, Oyo State, Nigeria. For inquiries, please call Utah.
Welcome back. And now updates from United Kingdom. Dominic Cummings allegation, top civil servant to face Member of Parliament. The UK most senior civil servant will be questioned by a committee of Member of Parliament later about claims of impropriety made by ex-Number 10 advisor Dominic Cummings. Cabinet Secretary Simon Case is expected to be asked about allegations. The Prime Minister considered holding a leak inquiry in case it implicated his fiancée's friend. He's also expected to face questions about lobbying rules during the appearance before the Commons Public Administration and Constitutional Affairs Committee. It comes amid an ongoing row over lobbying in Westminster after revelations former Prime Minister David Cameron had texted ministers about the financial firm he was working for, and businessman Sir James Dyson had directly contacted Mr. Johnson over tax issues when working on ventilators during the pandemic. Meanwhile, Labour is maintaining pressure over the funding of refurbishments to the Prime Minister's Downing Street flat, saying questions remain over how the work was paid for. More updates from Australia. Perth ends lockdown after COVID cases contained. And the Australian city of Perth will end a snap 3-day lockdown and began after a man contracted COVID in hotel quarantine and moved around the community while infectious. 3 local cases had been reported since Friday, and restrictions are said to be lifted at midnight. And State Premier Mark Gowan said the harsh steps had been necessary. Australia's snap lockdowns had helped contain COVID outbreaks and kept infectious rates low. And Mr. McGowan described the lockdown in the West Australian capital as a circuit breaker that had done the job it was designed to do. About 2 million residents in Perth and the nearby Peel region have been subject to stay at home orders since Friday. Schools and most businesses are set to reopen, though some restrictions, including mandatory mask wearing, will remain. In Australia, snap lockdowns has proved to be an effective health measure to help suppress COVID outbreaks earlier on. The country has fared much better than most other nations during the pandemic, with fewer than 30,000 cases and 910 deaths. And quickly, we'll go straight to business news right now. Coca-Cola recycles 1.5 billion bottles to protect environment. Coca-Cola Nigeria says through its recycling initiative, it is committed to the support of environmental protections and sustainability in Nigeria in commemoration of World Earth Day. The Director of Public Affairs Communications and Sustainability, Coca-Cola Nigeria, Amaka Oyemeloke, also said through its World Without Waste initiative, it recycled over 1.5 billion bottles and invested over $2 million in plastic recovery and recycling efforts. Oyemeloke explained that the eradication of waste in the country and the world at large through Coca-Cola's World Without Waste initiative remained an integral commitment for Coca-Cola Nigeria. Coca-Cola said, recognized there was a global packaging waste problem as well. Oyemeloke noted that Coca-Cola's World Day Without Waste initiative had made remarkable strides in its efforts to curb the waste crisis in the country. This, she noted, had been achieved through the creation of a sustainable recycling model and a circular economy. As part of its focus on design, she said Coca-Cola recently changed its Sprite bottle packaging in Nigeria from the green plastic packaging to clear plastic to increase its recyclability. And still on business news, federal government spends 568.5 billion naira annually on power tariff shortfalls, says World Bank. The federal government of Nigeria is spending $1.5 billion annually to fund electricity tariff shortfalls, the World Bank has said. According to the global financial institution, this amount could further increase if the country fails to take the right action. Federal government of Nigeria is spending $1.5 billion per year to fund tariff shortfalls, and these could continue to rise if action isn't taken, the bank stated. The World Bank said Nigeria's power sector was operationally inefficient with unreliable supply exacerbated by high losses and lack of payment discipline. In the transmission sector, the bank said infrastructure in this arm of industry remained inadequate and congested, stressing that investments in upgrades and maintenance were required. In the power distribution arm, the bank observed that the discos on average currently report 50% average technical, commercial, and collection losses. On the policy and regulatory environment, the bank stated that there had been inconsistent implementation of tariff regulation, enforcement of market contracts, and policy direction. We'll go on a very short break. When we come back, we're going to bring you sport news. Don't go anywhere. Let's see how Man City beat Tottenham to retain League Cup. Stay with us.
Apostle Johnson Suleiman storms Ibadan.
Do you live in Ogun State? Do you live in Ondo State? Do you live in Osun? Do you live in Lagos? Be my guest as I come to Oyo State, Ibadan.
Make a move that will propel your generation.
You've carried so much load, but God says He has come to help you. Who is Victor? Your first son. Miracle jobs will begin to locate your children.
There's going to be a mighty move of the Holy Spirit. I'm coming with my wife.
Who is this woman walking?
But there is a miracle here.
Tell me.
For 18 years, this woman could not walk except with the aid.
She could not walk without the crutches.
Not walk without a crutch.
Come, let her walk now.
Yes.
Walk now. Walk now. So many miracles happening here. Look at another crutches again inside the crowd.
It's a time of refreshing and revamping.
Join me for Impact 2021, Ibadan, Oyo State.
Generational Impact Ibadan 2021. Date 27th and 28th April 2021 by 7 a.m. and 3 p.m. daily GMT+1. Venue Indoor Sport Hall, Liberty Stadium, Ibadan, Oyo State, Nigeria. For inquiries, please call. Your time has come.
My God, completely blind for 2 years. He was blind. He can see.
Yabika.
Papa, look at. He was blind. God has done it. He was blind. He was blind. He can see. Shout Jesus.
An outpour of the Spirit that stirs up revival. The wonder-working power made visible.
Who's Henry?
My younger brother.
Who's Imba?
Now our last born.
What's Mopo 20? Mopo 20.
Yes, that's where we stay.
Barracks.
Yes, sir.
That's where you stay?
Yes, sir.
Be restored.
Power. Take.
Impact 2021 FCT Abuja with Apostle Johnson Suleiman.
Johnson Suleiman is my name, and I hope this message meets you well. Do you live in Katsina? Do you live in Kaduna? Do you live in Kano? Do you live in Niger State? Do you live in the northern axis? Be my guest as I come to Abuja. We are coming to the old parade ground for 2 days standing move of God's Spirit.
Date 6th and 7th May 2021. Time Thursday 6th May by 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. Friday 7th May by 8 a.m. and 11 p.m. all night long GMT+1. Venue Old Parade Ground, Area 10, Abuja, Nigeria. For inquiries, please call.
I'll see you at the old parade ground for Impact 2021. Your time has come.
Welcome back, and now on sports news. Man City beat Tottenham to retain League Cup. Manchester City claimed the fourth consecutive League Cup with a dominant display to beat Tottenham 1-0 in front of 8,000 fans at Wembley. Omeri Kemlapote's header 8 minutes from time finally ended Tottenham's resistance as their 13-year wait to win a trophy goes on. For the first time in 13 months, a football match in England had designated fans from both teams inside the stadium in one of a series of test events at Wembley as coronavirus restrictions are eased. Defeat by Chelsea in the FA Cup semi-finals last weekend means City cannot claim an unprecedented quadruple of trophies this season. However, they remain on course for a treble, with the first leg of their Champions League semi-final against Paris Saint-Germain to come on Wednesday before possibly sealing the Premier League title next weekend. Pep Guardiola's men played like champions as after a slight dip in form in recent weeks, they pinned Tottenham back from the first whistle and should have won by a far more comfortable scoreline. Spurs sacked manager Jose Mourinho on Monday amid a chaotic week as both City and Tottenham also quickly withdrew from plans to join the European Super League. In another sports news, quickly, Nadal beats Tsitsipas to win 12th Barcelona title. Rafael Nadal saved the championship point to beat Stefano Tsitsipas 6-4, 6-7, 7-5 and claim a 12th Barcelona Open title in the ATP's longest match of 2021. The Spaniard secured his first title of the year and 87th of his career, denying Tsitsipas back-to-back triumphs following his maiden Master 1000 title at Monte Carlo last week. Nadal avenged his Australian Open quarterfinal loss to Tsitsipas and will return to second in the ATP rankings today by climbing back above Daniil Medvedev after his marathon 3 hours 38-minute win. No man has won more matches this year than Tsitsipas, 26, but the 22-year-old has lost all 7 finals at the ATP 500 level. Nadal survived though and finally converted his 4th break chance in the following game, snuffing out Tsitsipas' break point in the final game before clinching his 61st clay court title. His 12 Barcelona victories are second only to his 13 Roland Garros trophies. And that has brought us to the end of the news on Celebration Television News Desk. In case you're just joining us, here's the news headline recap. Poverty odor is worse than body odor, says Apostle Johnson Suleiman. Gunfire erupts in Somalia as fears mounts over civil war. Dominic Cummings' allegations, top civil servant to face Member of Parliament. Coca-Cola recycles 1.5 billion bottles to protect environment. Man City beats Tottenham to retain League Cup. And quickly we'll have photo of the day. Can you see that somebody actually fetching water or pouring water something, and some are just watching, looking? What does that simply tell us? They are glad the hoe is not at their end, but they have forgotten that they are in the same boat. What does that tell us? Make sure that you help those around you. Their dangers can possibly affect you. Quickly, you can drop your comment on our social media platform. On Facebook, we have Celebration TV. On Instagram, My Celebration TV. Twitter, at My Celebration TV. YouTube, Celebration TV. Always remember that your positive contribution to the wellness of the society you find yourself or the organization you work defines your leadership mind. As an individual who knows what to do and do without expecting to be pushed, has bagged his ways to success. Be it known today that everything we do, think, feel, and believe either has a positive or negative effect on humanity and our national well-being. Be a part of nation building today. Thank you once more for staying with us on our news desk. I remain Nicholas Akosile Walter. Goodbye for now. To 15.7 trillion naira at the end of December 2018.
Senior Democrats have responded by accusing him of committing a gross offense.
The All Progressives Congress has vowed to punish the Ogun State Governor, Ibikunle Amosun.